There are more than 120 known gang groups in Doña Ana County, according to Las Cruces Deputy Police Chief Miguel Dominguez. He says some gangs have a handful of members while others have hundreds. Dominguez says the overwhelming majority of organized crime is drug-related.
Most of our property crime has a gang nexus or a drug nexus, and everybody's in on that pie. We're seeing that through our intel meetings. We hear things from the sheriff's department. We hear things from the Anthony, Sunland Park, our federal partners. They all are taking part in this organization that is the drug problem that is plaguing the community right now. That's what's going on.
What has been my exposure is the youth gangs.
Youth gangs and opioid overdoses are prevalent in Anthony, according to the city's police chief, Vanessa Lara.
We have a lot of overdoses in the city limits. I want to say within the past 3 months, we've administered 5 Narcans, which essentially saved 5 people's lives. So that's what we see. But we also have seen an increase in child abuse cases and a lot of domestic violence. So as it relates to drugs.
Drugs and gangs are not the only problems for these law enforcement officials. Doña Ana County Sheriff Kim Stewart says domestic violence is a, quote, significant problem in the county.
My people go out every shift, every 10 hours, and I will say that the majority, if not all, of their day is consumed by household violence of one form or another. It's either on a family member, on a child, even to the extent of animal abuse. So, and we don't respond on those, but I'm aware of them. So I don't know that this is an increasing problem in Doña Ana, but it's a significant problem. And I just don't think we can really, we have to remind ourselves of that's an enormous problem.
Stewart adds there's a need for a crisis triage center to deal with mental health emergencies.
It's time we look into why it hasn't been and get it open, and that in turn will bring in providers. We as a state and as a southern part of the state need providers. We need mental health assistance from psychologists and psychiatrists. I think if we open that, we're going to get a larger interest from those type of providers to want to assist us.
Las Cruces Deputy Police Chief Miguel Dominguez agrees that the triage center is an important need in the region.
It would be a huge plus to have that triage center here to assist us because it is taking a significant amount of time for our officers are on the street. We're actually putting more officers designated to crisis intervention. We need it, but it would be nice to have a facility that would be able to treat folks that are in crisis.
At $49 million, public safety spending makes up just over half of the Las Cruces 2020 general fund budget. State and federal funding makes up about 2% of the police department's $28 million budget. The majority comes from gross receipts taxes, property taxes, and other fees and revenues. But Dominguez says preventing crime isn't just about the budget for law enforcement.
What we tell people, we get a lot of questions like this when people are moving into town. What areas of town do I avoid? Where do I not move? That kind of thing. And we tell them, all of the city is safe. All of the city can be dangerous as well. Lock your doors. Just to the sheriff's point, be vigilant. Lock your doors. Know your neighbors. Report. You see suspicious activity, report it.
For KRWG Public Media, I'm Michael Hernandez.